She tried to sit down, and suddenly froze in pain. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered to her teacher, "I can't sit, my back hurts." What the teacher discovered next would expose a truth no one was ready for. Stay till the end, this story will change how you see silence. The classroom was unusually quiet that morning. Sunlight streamed through tall windows, landing softly on rows of wooden desks. Children shuffled papers, whispered answers, and tapped pencils against notebooks. Everything felt normal, until Emily Carter slowly stood up from her seat. She didn't scream, she didn't fall, she just stopped. Her small hands clenched the edge of the desk. Her face turned pale, and her lips trembled as tears welled up in her eyes. "Emily," the teacher asked gently, "are you okay, sweetheart?" Emily shook her head, her voice barely audible. I can't sit down, teacher," she whispered. "It hurts, my back hurts." A hush fell over the room. 20 pairs of young eyes turned toward her. Some looked confused, others looked worried. Ms. Johnson, the class teacher, immediately stood up and walked over. She knelt beside Emily, keeping her voice calm and steady. "Where does it hurt, Emily?" she asked softly. Emily hesitated, then she whispered something that made Ms. Johnson's heart stop. "Please don't tell him." Ms. Johnson had been teaching for nearly 15 years. She had seen scraped knees, panic attacks, and childhood fears. But this was different. This was fear mixed with pain. She gently placed her hand near Emily's shoulder, careful, respectful. "Who are you afraid of, Emily?" she asked. Emily's eyes darted toward the classroom door. Then she looked down. "My dad," she said quietly. The room felt colder. Ms. Johnson kept her face calm, but inside, her instincts screamed. "Let's step outside for a moment," she said gently. "Class, please continue your work." As they walked into the hallway, Emily moved slowly, each step stiff and careful. Ms. Johnson noticed something then. Emily wasn't just uncomfortable, she was protecting her back. In the hallway, Ms. Johnson crouched to Emily's level. "You're safe here," she said softly. "You can tell me anything." Emily swallowed hard. "I'm not supposed to say," she whispered. "He said bad things happen when I talk." Ms. Johnson took a slow breath. "Does your back hurt because you fell?" she asked carefully. Emily shook her head. "No, because you were sick." Another shake. Then, with tears rolling down her cheeks, Emily whispered, "He gets angry." That was all she said. But it was enough. Emily was taken to the school nurse, who carefully examined her with full professionalism. What she found raised immediate concern. There were signs of repeated strain, not something caused by a playground fall or bad posture. The nurse exchanged a quiet look with Ms. Johnson. Protocol was followed. The school counselor was called. Administration was alerted, and Emily was gently asked one final question. "Emily," the counselor said softly, "do you feel safe at home?" Emily hesitated, then she shook her head. "No." Emily's father arrived later that afternoon. He smiled, he joked, he thanked the staff, but his eyes never softened when he looked at Emily. Ms. Johnson noticed that too. Emily didn't run to him. She flinched. That moment sealed it. The school followed the law. The right people were notified. Emily was not sent home that day. And for the first time, she slept peacefully that night. Days turned into weeks. Emily began physical therapy. She met counselors who listened. She learned something new, something powerful. That telling the truth is not betrayal. That silence is not safety. One afternoon, Emily sat in Ms. Johnson's classroom again. This time, she sat down, without pain. She smiled. "I feel better now," she said. Ms. Johnson smiled back, holding back tears. "I'm proud of you," she replied. "This story isn't just about a child. It's about listening, about noticing the quiet signs, about teachers who care beyond books and lessons. One gentle question, one safe space, one brave child, that's all it took to change a life. If this story touched your heart, if you believe children deserve safety, care, and compassion, subscribe now to USA Drama 2.0. We share powerful emotional stories that matter. Turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could change a life. Comment below, "I stand for children." Remember, sometimes the loudest cry is the one barely whispered. Thank you for watching USA Drama 2.0.